The Motorola One Fusion Plus was a solid smartphone and I enjoyed reviewing it. And it has been a while since the company has launched a great budget smartphone, especially around the 12,000 rupee price point. The company has now launched this, the Moto G9. It looks good, but is it capable of taking on the fierce competition in the market? Well, stay with me right till the end of this video to find out. But before I go ahead, be sure you are subscribed to the Gadgets 360 YouTube channel and click that bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. The Moto G9 has a big 6.5-inch IPS LCD display with an HD Plus resolution and a tall 20:9 aspect ratio, which is great for watching content on in landscape mode. However, at this price, you can get phones with a full HD Plus resolution too, so you should look at phones such as the Redmi Note 9 if you want a better display. Motorola has added a dedicated Google Assistant button, which is a neat touch, but it isn't reachable very easily while holding the smartphone. The Moto G9 is the first smartphone in India to support the Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 SoC. I did not face any lag while going through the menus and loading stock apps in the Android UI. I could also load multiple apps and multitask between them quite easily. However, loading heavier apps and games took noticeably longer. I played Asphalt 9 on the Moto G9 and the game took slightly longer than usual to load. The graphics quality was set to default and I did not notice any lag in the races that I played. Bumping the graphics up to high caused a few slowdowns. The phone barely got warm to the touch, and after playing for 20 minutes, I noticed a 4% drop in the battery level. The battery life with the Moto G9 was good and the phone lasted me about a day and a half with my usage. The high capacity battery does help the Moto G9 get an edge over the Nokia 5.3. In our HD video loop test, the smartphone managed to go on for 14 hours and 40 minutes. Motorola ships a 20-watt fast charger in the box which helps charge the device relatively quickly. The Moto G9 got to 32% in 30 minutes and 63% in an hour. Charging it completely took a little over 2 hours. You get 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage and it is priced at 11,499 rupees. Storage is expandable on it, but it comes at the cost of the second SIM. Motorola offers MyUX on top of Android 10, which has very minor customizations. It feels as though you are using stock Android with a few useful features sprinkled on top. Moto Actions lets you execute certain shortcuts using gestures. The Moto G9 uses swipe-based gesture navigation by default, but you do get the option to switch to the traditional 3-button layout if you aren't comfortable with that. Motorola has also included Moto Game Time, which lets you block calls, notifications, and certain Moto actions while you are gaming to prevent distractions. I like that Motorola has kept pre-installed apps to a minimum and you only get Facebook pre-installed apart from some Google apps. Now let's talk about the cameras on the Moto G9, and I was a little surprised to see a triple camera setup here because most of the competition now has quad camera setup, though their value is debatable. The Moto G9 has a 48 megapixel primary camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Honestly speaking, I would have preferred a wide angle camera instead of a low resolution macro camera. I found that the Moto G9 did not reproduce the best dynamic range in shots taken outdoors in daylight, but they came out with good detail. Text at a distance was recognizable. For close-ups, the Moto G9 was quick to focus and managed a shallow depth effect for the background. Edges were well defined and the subject had good detail. The macro camera delivers sharp results in adequate lighting conditions. For portraits, the Moto G9 lets you set the level of blur before taking a shot. Edge detection was very good and the photos turned out crisp with sharp focus and good details. Low light camera performance is below average and photos appear dark. Enabling night mode has a drastic impact on the camera performance, helping the Moto G9 deliver much brighter images with better details. Selfies taken with the 8 megapixel front camera in daylight turned out well. Low light selfies shot under street lamp appeared softened with some grain visible on zooming in. Video recording tops out at 1080p 60fps for the primary camera and 1080p 30fps for the selfie shooter. Video stabilization is available and the Moto G9 does a good job in daylight. Stabilization in low light causes a noticeable shimmer effect in the output, which could affect the usability of the footage. The Moto G9 has been launched at 11,499 rupees, which is a competitive price for what it offers. Motorola has got the software experience right with the Moto G9, and I wasn't bothered by spammy notifications on this device. The new Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 SoC provides decent enough performance to keep the average user happy, but it could leave power users wanting for more. I would have preferred a full HD plus resolution, but very few new smartphones offer it at such a low price. The Redmi Note 9 is one such exception. But if you want better performance, you will have to shell out a little extra and go in for the Realme 6i instead. So that was my review of the Moto G9. Your thoughts on this device? Well, let me know it in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.